2 years ago.
Wow.
I was making $3,000 a month in my online business when I started studying law of attraction. And here I am $15 million later in just under 2 years in a beautiful academy to help purpose-driven entrepreneurs create success in their own lives.
The dollar amount is just a reflection of the impact that we have made on this world and how many people we've been able to help through courses, programs, masterminds, live events. And that leads us up to the Bahamas, where it was all coming together beautifully and things shifted. It was horrifying. I'm somebody who's always thinking about the future and the bright side and the fourth dimension, and there was none of that. But I have come out of this now just absolutely knowing without a shadow of doubt, even more than I knew before, what I'm here to do. It was all part of the plan of preparing me to be able to help more people. Tomorrow starts tonight. This is one life. We are only here for a short time. I only have infinite number of opportunities. I only have an infinite number of moments to experience the wonder that is this life. And I'm not going to waste a moment of it any longer.
Good morning, everyone. How are we doing? How are we feeling? Not the easiest video for me to watch, just gonna say. I look so different. Wow. You don't notice how much you've changed until you compare it to something else. And yeah, I look pretty different. So we'll talk a little bit about that and why that is and what's going on there. But I just want to welcome you all back to day 2. If you're here live, I congratulate you for remaining persistent, for giving yourself the opportunity, for choosing to grow, to expand. It's really, really brave, because looking in the mirror and looking at yourself and going deep within is not always the easiest thing. Trust me, I know. So I'm grateful for all of you for doing that and for choosing yourselves. And if you're on the replay, please participate like you are live. And that's how you are going to get the best transformation. Now, what is my mommy saying in the comments here? She lived that whole experience with me. That was a powerful memory. Yes, very powerful memory, Mom. Lots of you asked yesterday, I posted a picture, and a lot of you noticed on my yesterday, I did get a new tattoo. Yes. Okay. So you guys love the little things. I did get a tattoo on my forearm here to commemorate my surgery. So this is actually a pair of lungs, and each lung is actually a bouquet of beautiful flowers. And so I really wanted to have a reminder on myself of how precious life is, how every moment matters, how impactful it is to not waste 1 second in the negative. So for me, things are always going to happen, circumstances always going to show up, but this is just a reminder that every breath I take is an honor, and I don't take it lightly. So that's my new tattoo for all of you that were just asking. We have had a powerful day yesterday. Some of you have grown already since yesterday. So I've gotten some messages, I've spoken to the team, and some of you have had some impactful aha moments and growth. So what I would love is if in the comments or in the comments of the replay, if you can on YouTube, or make a note for yourself, put in the comments here what you believe was your biggest aha moment from yesterday, please. And the reason that I'm getting you to do this is it takes you from the conscious mind into the subconscious mind. It actually takes whatever it is you heard yesterday, and it pulls out that one thing that you're going to allow to sit deeper within you. And that's the embodiment. That's the embodiment. So it's one thing to go on to a training and to listen and to take notes and to be like, amazing, great. But it's another thing to then say, okay, what am I going to take
out of what I learned today and change in my body. What am I going to change? That's the embodiment. So we want to see every single one of you embody this. The I am, that's really powerful, eh? And the I am actually wasn't even part of what I was going to talk about. That just came through me. And a lot of you are really, really resonating with that. Beautiful, beautiful. And how many of you really felt your spirit yesterday after our call? Like how many of you felt their oneness, felt your spirit, felt supported, felt protected? Know that you're not alone. Can you ever be alone if you're one with God? No. So beautiful. And all we did was just shift your focus to it. We didn't tell you anything you probably didn't know already. You just shifted your focus to it, allowed yourself to feel it. I find when I'm in my human, okay, so when I say I'm in my human, I am paying attention to a physical circumstance. Something has happened. Somebody said something. I've had an experience. I noticed something I don't like, and I am paying attention. And I am reacting, and I'm allowing it in. And so I call that my human, because I'm in my personal mind. I'm making it about me. And we don't have to make it about you. So if anything has really bothered you, anything triggered you, it activated you, it kind of set you off, notice the feeling within you. Where did that come from? What was that? Why did it feel that way for you? There's understanding within that. I wore my love necklace today. So I have this beautiful love necklace that in, I think it was maybe March of last year, I had just moved into my own place for the first time. So I was in a relationship for 17 years, and we had separated, and I moved into my own 3-bedroom townhome thing. And I spent 6 months there, and the girls came back and forth with me every other week. And while I was living there, I suddenly felt alone, and I felt disconnected from love. And I thought, geez, what is happening? So I decided to make my word love. I wanted to feel it. I wanted to own it. I wanted to experience it. And I wanted to remind myself that it's still here. So I bought this beautiful love necklace. It just came up on my feed. Of course, I chose the word love. It came up on my feed, and I was like, I have to have that. And I ordered it. It shipped from Miami. And so this is my favorite necklace. It gets so caught up. If you're not wearing it, it gets knots. So it was literally a knot right before I was sitting here logging on, and I fixed it all up and got it on. But see how I shift my focus to something that I desire? And then I allow myself to experience that in such a full way. So now I feel so much love all around me all the time. And it's not coming from other people. It's coming from me, but I'm observing it. I'm aware of it. I'm seeing it. I'm allowing myself to feel it. I'm allowing myself to be it. And so one of the things that this necklace always reminds me of is to do everything with love. Do everything with love, Kathleen. Everything with love. And so if I'm not in a state of love, then what state am I in? And anybody in my community is going to know this. Come on. Put in the chat. Fear. If I'm not in a state of love, I am in a state of fear. There is something I am fearing. And so when I'm in my human, I'm in fear. And it's up to me to figure out, okay, what is it about me that wants to be in fear right now instead of in love? And so I remind myself, and it's not necessarily to be in love with someone, but it's taking a loving perspective. You know, Bob used to say, leave everyone you meet with the impression of increase. So leave them better off than when you found them. And that actually is from The Science of Getting Rich by Wallace D. Wattles, that leave everybody with the impression of increase. But I would say we could take that same mentality and think about being in love and having a loving perspective. So even when somebody hurts us or wrongs us or does something negative, how can we have compassion and take a loving perspective and leave them with an impression of increase? I don't know if this woman is going to be watching this training or not, but I had somebody create a fake account and sold some Bitcoin, like some scammers. Okay, I will never ask you to invest in Bitcoin or cryptocurrency. Never will it ever happen, okay? So just in case anybody ever reaches out, it's not me, and I will never ask you to do that. But this woman and I just had this conversation about, well, let's send this person love. Let's really hope that they realize that this type of behavior has karma and that it's, not good for this world. And like, her and I are in this loving conversation about this guy that scammed her some money. And so we're not condoning, we're not saying what he's doing is right, but we are choosing to take a loving perspective. And what that does for our body and does for our experience and our nervous system. Imagine something happens, you're upset, you're hurt, you're angry, you're fighting up against it, you're resisting it, you want your money back, how dare you? You got to really but I got to advocate, this is wrong, this is wrong. That sits in your nervous system, sits in your body, that feeling, that energy is in you. So how can we step back and go, it's happened, there's nothing I can do about it. It's happened. So I'm going to send this person love. I'm going to use my power for good. Right? Use my power for good. So I'm very powerful. I can impact people. So I'm going to send you love. I'm going to send you thoughts of recovery, that you recover from this behavior. And we don't know anything about this person, where they come from, what they've learned, what their life has been like, why they would choose to do things like this. And so it's about allowing myself to have the experience of life that I desire to have. And I don't want to go through life mad at people. I don't want to go through life resentful. I don't want to go through life with my feelings hurt. I want to go through life becoming the best of myself, wanting to help people every step of the way. It's such a powerful place. It really is. What is this question here? If you have questions, what I'm going to say, tomorrow we're going to do Q&A. Day 3, Saturday, Q&A. So what I would say is send your questions in to the team. Because if you're asking a question in here, probably not going to be able to read it. And I think they're very, very powerful questions. What are your thoughts about meeting people with love while at the same time upholding boundaries? A lot of people do not have a noticeable awareness of other people's, okay, this is so good. This is a great question. Okay. So I can meet you with love and I can be compassionate about your behavior. I don't have to think your behavior is right. I don't have to think it's condonable. I don't have to do it myself. I can look at whatever behavior it is that you're expressing, and I can say, you don't know any better. You're at a different level of awareness. I send you love. I send you compassion. I hope that you rise up into a higher level version of yourself or whatever, and not let myself be impacted by it. But I'm also going to act in a form of self-love for me. So if your behavior is impacting me negatively, I am no longer going to allow it. Right? So I'm not going to let you back in my life. I'm not going to let you impact me with that behavior. I'm going to create distance. And so it's acting in self-love for yourself and not choosing the same thing over and over again. Everyone outside of us is a reflection of what's going on within us. Every experience, everything that is happening is a reflection of what's going on outside of us. So remember that they are reflecting back to you something within you. And so you say, thank you. Thank you for this awareness. Thank you for showing me that up until today, I have not loved myself enough because I've allowed this behavior to be in my life. But now I'm going to love myself going forward. I'm no longer going to accept this behavior and I'm going to move forward. I love you, but I don't need to be in a relationship with you. I love you, but I don't need to work with you. I love you, but I don't have to see you every day. This is a very, very powerful place to be. So you can unconditionally love someone no matter how they treat you, which I don't like that. I don't like that language because that implies that I can be treated a certain way. So no matter how they treat you, you can love them unconditionally, but you can let them go. Absolutely. And that's an act of self-love. So see how we're talking about a loving perspective towards others, but also a loving perspective towards ourselves. Yeah. I just want to answer this from Janine. From doing my homework, I realized that I do not know how to acknowledge God around my friends and family. Is it that I just need to continue to shine my light and let them wonder what this light is? Yeah, so I take on the perspective for myself that I want to express myself fully. Okay, I want to self-express. So if you aren't self-expressing, what are you doing? You're suppressing. And when you suppress, that means that you have a feeling that you want to do something. You want to say something. You want to go somewhere. You want to wear this outfit. You want to wear your hair this way. You want to talk about this topic, but you don't because of the fear of what other people will think of you or what they will say or the ways in which they will judge you. So what you're doing is you're so worried about the observer that you're not self-expressing. You're suppressing. So for me, what I want to do is I want to express myself when I want to express. So when I want to say something, when I have a message to share, when I have an opinion, when I believe I can support you and help you, when I want to show up, I want to be like, okay, I'm going to express. And I had to really come to a place where I express because of what I believe and because I think it can be helpful, not because I'm trying to convince you. Like, I'm not trying to get you to believe what I believe. I'm just telling you what I believe and how it's helped me. And I hope that it helps you too. But I never want you to believe what I believe. So the thing about you don't want to be too preachy, that comes from a fear that you're trying to convince, that you're trying to convert. And that might be because of a past experience. You've had people come and preach to you and try to convince you and you didn't like that. So you don't want to be like that. So I just let it go. And I just think to myself, what would I say if I could say anything right now? And then I just say it. The God conversation, the spirit conversation, the universe conversation can be a little bit of a tricky one because of the multiple different beliefs in the world around it. And so I express myself. I don't want to suppress. It's a very, very important part of my journey. Becoming one with God was such a pivotal part of my journey that it would not be fair to not discuss it. It would be like leaving a very important part of the puzzle out, and we're not going to do that. So for me, I just want to express. And the more you fall in love with who you are, the more you will self-express, the less you will care what people think. Remember that everything is a reflection. So if you're worried people are going to judge you, what's going to happen when you do express? You'll see some judgment come back. But if you just, you know what, I just want to change the world. I just want to help you. Yeah. So self-expression is really, really big. And it's a huge part of the book that's coming out in September. The Best of Yourself is fully self-expressing. Who cares? We are not meant to take anything personally. Janet, cue into our next step in the manifestation process. Okay. Perfect. We are not meant to take anything personally. So self-awareness was the first step in the manifestation process. So before you start manifesting a different type of experience here on this planet than you have right now, you have to become self-aware. Then for me, it's tapping into spirit. It's understanding that there is a formless substance, an energy, infinite intelligence, whatever that is supporting you, that is guiding you, that is helping you, that makes you far more powerful than you are right now in this moment without believing in it. Okay? Then we got to talk about the intellectual mind. So remember that we are spiritual beings in a physical body with an intellectual mind. So we have a mind, and it is so powerful, and it is the software that is running, that is moving us or not moving us. So the body doesn't do what the mind doesn't tell it to do. The body stays stagnant if the mind doesn't tell it to do anything differently. So the mind controls the body. It's not possible for your body to do something without your mind telling it to. So the spirit, mind, body connection is so powerful when you line it all up. So the thing of it is with what Janet just said, who cares? We are not meant to take anything personally. So this taking something personal What is that? Where does that come from? That comes from the mind. That's not spirit, right? That comes from the mind. And so taking something personal means that you made it about you. You made it about you. So, for example, somebody comes to me, they want to express their opinion to me that, you know, something's gone wrong and they want me to know that it's gone wrong and they want me to fix it. Okay? I'm going to hop out of my ego and I'm going to say, okay, what does this person need help with? What do they need support with? What can I help them with? Past Kathleen would have been offended. I would have been like, oh man, this person doesn't like what I say, or they think I've messed up. What did I do wrong? Oh, I'm not good enough. I'm not worthy. Oh man, made it about me. So I used to get, so many times in my life, it was like on repeat. You take everything so personal, Kathleen. And then somebody would say something to me and I would get my feelings hurt and I would cry about it. And then they would be like, I didn't mean it that way. You took it that way. And that used to, make me so mad. No, you were rude. That was disrespectful. I would never say that to somebody, you know? Like, I can just see my old self back there, like just thinking that it was all them, not me. You hurt my feelings. You know, and Bob said, you can't hurt your feelings. They can't hurt your feelings. Only you can hurt your feelings. And what is really being said there is that we have the control to accept or reject. We have the control to give it a perspective or a perception that helps us or that hinders us. And so when someone says something that hurts your feelings, ask, really, really ask, why is this hurting my feelings? Why am I allowing this to hurt me? Why is this upsetting me? Why is this activating me? Why is this triggering me? Because you're making it about you, not about them. So now I do believe, and I say this in the book, that when, say it was my mom or my sister or something, and they would be like, I didn't mean it that way, you took it that way. And I used to be like, no, I believe that they were right. I believe that they were right. I do believe that my family does not want to ever hurt me. They never want to say something to hurt me. They love me. And so when we take it personal, we are influencing ourselves negatively. How do we accept or reject on a conscious level or energetically? So here's the thing with the intellectual mind. And it's so interesting because I have a psychology degree and a sociology degree that I got when I was 21. And at the time, I didn't think that I was ever going to use it. It was like, how am I ever going to use it? But now that I'm in this material and this content, both of those degrees have become very powerful for me. So psychology is the study of the individual mind, and sociology is the study of collective consciousness. It's the study of the collective. When people are together, when they do things together, it's very powerful when they're social. So what I truly believe now, from what I learned in psychology to what I believe to be true now, which is outside of, I understand that my beliefs now are outside of traditional psychological doctrine. Because traditional psychological doctrine doesn't talk about God and spirit and the connection to all of that, right? It talks about the mind in isolation. So what's really beautiful and what's really, really powerful now is that I do believe that our mind is a software, and it is like a computer that is running. And so we have conscious and we have unconscious ways of running the pattern. So it just means aware and unaware. So unconscious ways in which our mind is running our body is like your breath, your autonomic nervous system. Those are all happening without you being aware that you're doing it. So I'm not sitting here going, okay, body, breathe, take one breath, take one out, take one in, take one out. When we do breath work, we move to a more conscious awareness of the automatic thing that's happening. So the really beautiful thing then is that you do have conscious awareness. There are decisions and choices that you can make. So the moment that a thought comes into your mind, it is strictly data. It's just data. So when something comes, it's not good or bad. It just is. Where does the good or bad come from? Our mind. And so you might have a pattern and a program that says, this is bad, this is bad, this is bad, this is bad. And so what's happened is you've gotten so used to seeing bad things that you automatically see bad things. And so you're automatically judging it and saying it's bad right away. So this is where, 6 months with us, we will help you to change that pattern to see good instead, to perceive good instead. Because you have the choice to decide, is this a good thing? Is this a bad thing? Am I going to be upset about this or not? Am I going to be pissed off or not? Is this going to make me happy or sad? You have that choice. You have that ability. And you can change it. So I'll notice in myself, sometimes what'll happen is I'll notice my energy. So it's not even that I'm aware of the thoughts, but I'll notice all of a sudden my mood has shifted. Energetically, I feel heavier than I did an hour ago. And I'm like, ooh, something happened. So I'll kind of go backwards and I'll go, okay, what did I see? What did I hear? What did I pay attention to? What memory did I revisit? What was it that my mind focused upon, made a determination that it was bad, that my energy then dropped? And I'll pay attention to it. And then I'll go back and I'll revisit it, change it. Do you know that you can pretend like something never happened and it's like it never happened? Like, that's okay. Like, that is okay. I've told the story before. I was in New York City and I was wearing a beautiful Fendi wrap and it was pouring rain. And I had an umbrella, I had my Fendi purse, my Fendi wrap, high heels, and I was going to lunch at Nobu. I was meeting a good friend of mine. And I was walking and I slid on one of the grates and I fell flat on my face. Okay, like umbrella everywhere, phone flew, purse on the ground. And in that moment, I was like, oh man, all these people saw me, how embarrassing. And I look around, there's people everywhere. And so many people came to help me up. Oh, are you okay? And they make a fuss. And I was like, oh man. And so I got up and I'm like, no, I'm okay. Thank you for helping me. And then I started to walk away and I started to feel the tears. I want to cry. I started to fill up. And in that moment, I was like, what's happening right now? I'm feeling embarrassed. I'm not crying because I'm hurt. I'm crying because I feel embarrassed. And so I said, you know what? And I turned around. I said, you know what? I'm going to pretend like it didn't happen. I turned around. None of those people that saw me fall were still there watching me. They had moved on with their lives. They didn't care. I'm like, you know what? I am forgetting that this even happened. I am ignoring it. So that next step that I took was just, nope, didn't happen. I did not just fall flat on my face. I'm going to move forward. So I just literally pretended like nothing happened. Everybody in New York is like, yeah, that happens all the time. Yeah. Katie Beamer, spotlight effect. So one of my psychology professors, actually, I remember this and it really resonated with me so much, talked about the invisible audience and how most of us believe that there is this audience walking around, following us, judging us 24/7 when nobody cares. They're all on their own phones. They're all worried about what everybody else is thinking about them, that nobody's paying attention, right? Laura, you know my story so much. Yeah, I actually, after that, I forgot about what happened so much. I let it go. I just dismissed it from my mind completely, that I didn't even realize that I was actually injured until I got home that night and had a bath. And I got into the bath and I had scrapes all down my leg. So like the mind is really powerful. I literally dismissed it. It was like, goodbye. I'm not
I'm not going to focus on this. I'm not going to let it bother me. I'm not going to stress out. I'm not going to worry. I'm just going to let it go. But the invisible audience resonated with me so much because I was somebody who would not be 5 minutes late for class because there's no way that I'm going to walk in front of this group of people. They're all going to watch me when I walk by. Who do I think I am? So the thing of it is like, it comes from, I used to say I'm self-conscious, but like, it comes from the ego. Like, I think that this many people are watching me and judging me and paying attention to me. Like, get out of your ego, get out of your personal mind and realize that it's not about you, Kathleen. So that's what I like tell myself all the time. This is not about you. Don't take it personal. But this is where the intellectual mind is so incredibly powerful and such an integral part of manifestation. So reprogramming the subconscious mind for permanent change is a part of manifestation. And so this is where the self-awareness piece is so important, because if you are unaware of what patterns and programs you are running in your computer right now, how are you ever going to know what to change? So think about a vision board. So many of us will create a vision board. And this is what a lot of teachers will teach you in manifestation, mindset coaches, even goal setting, anything like that. If you want to set a goal, create a vision board. So put the visual in front of yourself, right? So what we're doing essentially with a vision board is we are creating a visual representation of a new idea. And the new idea is one that's likely one of greater success. It's one with greater abundance and prosperity. It's an idea of elevation and expansion. It's likely one with a new house, a new car, a new trip. Maybe it's your body looking a little bit different than it looks right now. Maybe it's bigger impact on the world, more charitable work, like whatever it is you guys put on your vision boards, right? And so this new idea is a new experience of life that you desire to have. And so vision boards are amazing. They are incredible, and they are such an important part of manifestation, absolutely. And they're fun. And they help you to feel the feeling of that life, that lifestyle, that experience of life that you want. So where people get it wrong, though, is the life that you're observing today, right now, the experience that you have, the house, the car, the kids, the job, the money, the relationships, the health status, all of it, was created through the subconscious mind. Because the subconscious mind is what controls the body, right? So the patterns and the programs that are in your mind, the software that is running, has created the life that you see today. And so if you want that life that's on the vision board, then you have to understand that whatever is in your intellectual mind has to match that. Not today. So when coaches want to teach you to manifest a certain amount of money by writing it out a bunch of times, but you're still going to be the same person with the same beliefs, with the same identity, and see yourself in the same way, that doesn't make any sense. It's actually not even possible to do that. So think about some of the beautiful rags to riches stories that exist in our world. So many of them, especially now. There is hundreds of new millionaires in the US in the past couple of years. It's like 500 million new millionaires. Okay, like a lot of people making a lot more money. And so what's going on there? They're shifting the way in which they see themselves, the way they see the world, and they're changing the way in which they move and express and experience life. That's what's happened there. So I think about The Rock. I love The Rock's story. When he talks about where he started and where he is now, he actually grew up in an environment that taught him that he was going to remain in poverty. He grew up in an environment that said, no, life is hard and it's this way, and you don't have a lot and you're not going to have a lot. And so why did he elevate into who he is today? Luck? Chance? The world he's God's favorite? because he chose to see a new thing for himself. He chose to say, no, you know what? That doesn't have to be my experience. That doesn't have to be how it works. And he chose to see himself in a different way. And so when he saw himself in a different way, he chose new ideas to be in the subconscious mind. He chose to see success. People have been sending me like crazy, a whole bunch of the world's most famous, successful people, little clips of them talking about manifestation. And it's so powerful because this is what we're talking about. They have all changed the way they see themselves, the way they see this world, and the way they move within this world to elevate to the experience that they have. So it's not about keeping everything that you have programmed in your mind right now exactly the same and working harder. That's an old way. That's peak performance. So me before, I wanted to make more money. I wanted to have more success in my business. So what did I do? I stayed the same, unaware. I was unaware of myself. I stayed the same, and I took another course, and then I took another certification, and then I took another, I would go and I would do a training on strategy, on how, I would do a training on how to sell, or I would do a training on how to post to social media, and I would do a training on how to be a better coach, and blah, 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 blah. But none of it addressed what's programmed in my mind. None of it. I started another business. I did another degree. More and more and more and more and more. I worked more hours. So what ends up happening then is we keep the mind exactly where it's at, and we use willpower to work more and harder. That's like the old way. So now, what do? We get into spirit. We see how powerful we are and how we have this incredible magical force helping us every step of the way. We reprogram our subconscious mind to believe things that are empowering, inspiring, motivating, that make us fearless. And then guess what? We move differently in the world. So this is lesson 3, step 3 and step 4 of manifestation. Step 3 is the intellectual mind. So this is where we build a new awareness, a new understanding of who we are, and we change it. We change who we are, the way in which we see ourselves. We challenge what's programmed. Challenging beliefs has been the most liberating thing I have ever done. Freedom is changing your beliefs. So I believed I was flawed, so I never loved myself and always felt like I was less than. That was programmed in my subconscious mind. So all of the years of people telling me, you need to go on a diet, you need to go on a diet, you need to go on a diet. Years of hearing that created a pattern in me. So the pattern within myself is I'm not good enough, I'm not worthy, I will not be successful. This is going to be harder for me. I'm going to have to work harder. Like I'm going to have to put in more work than a beautiful person will. Like these were some of the things that were within me. And I also had this belief that I was not going to be as successful. But really what was happening is I was acting in the assumption that I wasn't successful, that I wasn't good enough, that I wasn't worthy. And so I wasn't self-expressing. I wasn't moving my body towards my goal. So I changed the belief to, yeah, I love myself and I can achieve success right now. I was actually talking to Eric yesterday, and he was telling me about a client of his that has been a little like chubbier in their life, and they're working out with him, and now they're no longer chubby, whatever that means. And he works out every single day and he's still not happy with his body. And so Eric looks at him and is like, your body's amazing. And so this guy is like, but I'm still fat, but I'm still fat, but I'm still fat. But like Eric's going, no, you're not. No, you're not. No, you're not. But the mind has been conditioned to believe. So then Eric's like trying to convince him that he's not. And I said, back it up, back it up, back it up.
The belief that I would change is that being fat is bad. Like, you have a belief that your appearance matters about who you are and your worthiness. You have a belief that having extra weight on your body makes you flawed or bad in some way. And so all of your life, you are going to work hard to not be the belief that you think is bad. And you're forever going to be trapped. So just get rid of the belief that being fat is bad. Believe that no matter how you look, whether you're fit or you're not fit, or you're carrying extra weight or you're not, who cares? It does not matter. So that's what I did. I just got rid of the belief. So being fat isn't bad. It's your belief that it is. That is impacting you. So change the belief. And then what happens, which is really beautiful, is like, I got rid of that. I got rid of the belief that it was negative and that it was a bad thing. And so I just started loving myself where I'm at. And then my belief started to change about who I was and the type of woman that I wanted to become. And I'm like, you know what? I'm a healthy woman. And so now I behave in a healthy manner, not 100% of the time, because that's not realistic, but as much as I possibly can. And now I walk every morning. I work it with Eric because I love it. It's fun. I feel strong. I feel powerful. I get the endorphins. But I'm not doing it to remove a flaw. That's different. Completely different energy. In the book, I have a model. You'll see. You'll see the book coming out. It's really, really beautiful. How do you get rid of a belief? So the first thing you have to do is identify the belief. What do you currently believe to be true? What do I currently believe? That's the self-awareness. So let's take a simple belief right now. Who believes, without a shadow of a doubt, that you are successful right now in this moment? I am successful. Not do you desire to be, but you every single day walk in the energy of I am successful. Okay, lots of you. And if you don't say me, then what is the belief? I haven't quite gotten there yet. I'm not quite successful yet. See? Okay. Thank you, Michelle, for being honest. Debbie, thank you. I do, but I want more. Debbie, thank you for being honest. Michelle, I'm not successful yet. Dana, I'm not successful yet. Okay. This is amazing, because if you are not aware of what you believe to be true, and you are unaware, you cannot change it. So if you already believe, if you're saying, yes, I believe I am successful, and you really don't, you're still in the energy of failure, right? Something is missing. So, what a great honest answer. Something is missing. If you believe something is missing, you will forever have something missing. So think about then the belief that you are successful. It might be moderately successful, somewhat successful. I've been successful in the past. I think success is possible for me, So if you believe that you are successful today, right now in this moment, you have a feeling associated with you. You have a pride, you have a sense of accomplishment, you have a power, you have a confidence. And you are literally expressing that out. And so what you will see is that you attract more things to help you continue with the feeling of success that's within you. But if you have a feeling of failure, so if you have an idea, a belief system, that you haven't quite reached your goals yet, that you haven't fully embraced yourself, that you're almost there, but you haven't quite done it yet, there's a feeling. That belief has you thinking certain things in certain ways, and it's making you feel a certain way about yourself. And so then you're not going to express like the person that believes that they're highly successful will. You're going to suppress more. So do you really in this moment wholeheartedly 100% know that you are successful?
Because if you don't, that is a beautiful, easy shift in your consciousness that you can make today, right now, to change your entire life. You will make different decisions. So for example, let's say, can I use Nanette? I just got a message. Nanette just joined Millionaire. Good example. Okay, congratulations, Nanette. So Nanette made a decision today based on the assumption that she is successful. Okay, so enrolling in a program to grow and expand and to elevate yourself and to become the next level version of you, that requires a belief within you that you are going to be successful. And so there's a certain level of success within her that she believes that. But if you don't believe you are successful, if you don't believe that you can achieve, that you can shift, that you can change, you will not enroll in a program because you don't think you're worthy. And I'm not saying everyone is wanting to enroll in a program, but I'm saying, but if you have a desire, it's like, you know what, I would love to be in a course. I would love to take this program. I would love to do this. But then you don't, ask yourself why. Is it because you don't believe you're successful? So success to me has a feeling and failure has a feeling. And you might not feel like you're a failure, but you might have a feeling within yourself that I never quite finish what I start, or I never quite follow through, or I never quite reach a level of success that I want. Something's missing. So I always say the most beautiful energy to be in is I am grateful, but never satisfied, right? I am grateful, but never satisfied. So I'm grateful for all the success that I've achieved today. And I'm grateful for all the more that's going to come, right? Success is powerful and fear of failure. The more successful you believe you are, the less you will fear failure. The more faith that you're in, the less you will fear failure. The more you are moving in love, the less you will fear failure. So fear of failure, that's a belief. You believe it's possible for you to fail. I don't believe it's possible for me to fail. And is that because of my 3D world telling me that? No. It's because I built a belief system within myself that I absolutely conditioned myself and convinced myself to believe that I am worth it, that I am powerful, that everything I do works out for me. Okay, what did I say to Christine last night in DMs? She quoted me. I'm going to find it. So many DMs. Chantel. It was Chantel. Okay. I said to her, everything you ask for, you get, and God always delivers. So then she wrote, I am powerful. Everything I ask for, I get, and God always delivers. I am powerful. Everything I ask for, I get, and God always delivers. Those are beliefs. Those are beliefs. So affirmations are tricky. Affirmations are tricky. So it's like, how do you reprogram the subconscious mind? Use affirmations. Okay. Here's the thing with affirmations. They can be horrible for you. Why? Why? Who would say that? How dare you? Because if you are affirming something that you don't believe to be true, we're not going to affirm something we already believe, okay? So affirmation means that you are affirming a new idea to the subconscious mind. So let's say I am confident, for example. You recognize that you're not the most confident that you could be, right? So there's an opportunity for me to be a more confident Kathleen. So I'm gonna shift my ideas to ones of more confidence, and I'm gonna affirm I am confident. This is one of the ones that most people do, is the affirmation I am confident. So the more you say I am confident, I am confident, I am confident, two things can happen. You can convince yourself you are, or you can remain unconfident And using the affirmation just reminds you that you're not. So if you're going to say, I am confident for 6 months, you're not using the affirmation for good. You're really not. You're literally saying you're not confident. So what we want to do is we want to create an affirmation and we want to use it for a short time. And we want to use it in a powerful way. We want to use it with emotion. And we want to act in the assumption of the affirmation. So you can literally go from believing you are not confident to believing you are so damn confident in a few days if you want. You can change it that fast. So how I would do that then is I would not create the affirmation and then just say it to myself on repeat. I would create the affirmation that I would ask myself, who am I when I'm this confident? How does it feel to be confident? How do I behave confidently? And so then I'm going to behave in a confident way. So I'm going to take some confident action today. I am confident, I am confident, I am confident, and I'm going to do something that makes me confident. I'm going to go live, I'm going to reach out to this person, I'm going to start that business, I'm going to make that phone call. I'm going to walk out my door just confidently. So maybe I'll put on some lipstick and a nice pair of heels, and I'll walk out that door in a confident way. You don't have to actually engage with other people. So the moment the affirmation goes from I am confident, I am confident, I am confident to, you know what? I am confident. Boom. Feel the difference. That's the shift in the belief. So you know when we were talking about I am yesterday, I am is your ask. It's not the I am, I am, I am. It's the I am. That's the ask. Yeah. So even today, right now, you can switch the way in which your presence is in this very moment. So I want all of you to think about your most confident self and now change your posture. Boom. See how your chin went up, your back and your body straightened, and you're now expressing more confidently. You feel that? That's how you use an affirmation to reprogram the subconscious mind quickly. That's my own thing that I have realized over the past 3 years. Nobody taught me this. I just noticed that the only way that I would switch a belief in an instant was to be that belief in the instant, in the moment. So it doesn't start tomorrow, it starts today, right now, in this moment. And so I'm going to be it. So it's like I'm a woman who walks every day. I could tell myself that for a month. I'm a woman who walks every day. I'm so grateful I walk every day. Look at me walking every day. And not walk. But when I say I'm a woman that walks every day, I go, better get my shoes on. Even putting your shoes on and walking for 3 minutes. Walk out your door, end of the driveway, come back in. You've taken action on that. Right? So that's the difference. And emotional impact is the fastest way to reprogram your subconscious mind. Emotional impact. So how much are you willing to feel? How much are you willing to feel? And I say, I want you to feel in the positive. So feel what it feels like to be a more confident version of yourself. Feel what it feels like to have more faith. Feel what it feels like to be successful. Feel what it feels like to be abundant. How do you do that? How do you feel abundant if you have no money? Major question I get all the time. But Kathleen, I can't. I have no money. I can't feel rich. I have no money. Okay, well, if you believe that, then you're kind of screwed. You're hooped. There's nothing we can do. But what if you could tap into the feeling of abundance and prosperity without having money? What if you could right now, in this moment, actually see how abundant you are? So abundance is a feeling. So look back on your life and say, wow, look at all of the money that I've had. Look around at your house right now. The furniture, the books, the cars, the kids' toys, the dishes in the cupboards, all of that was all purchased by money. It's all abundance. And if your house is really cluttered, woo, you're really abundant. Like literally. Like if you have stuff everywhere, money bought that stuff. So it's a shift in perspective to see, look at how much money I've brought into my life up till today. I had on one live I did, I said, add up all the money you've made over your lifetime, you're going to feel pretty abundant. And people were like adding it up and they're like, oh my gosh, I've made $1 million in my life. But what we want to see is we want to see the money in the bank account accumulating. But abundance and prosperity is not money in a bank account. Prosperity is what you have when your money is spent. So prosperity is the things, the experiences, the clothing, the going out for dinners. So you can right now shift your energy to abundance and prosperity. You can even see the abundance that is around you everywhere. The trees, the grass, the water. Gosh, water. There is so much access to water for us. We turn on our tap and we get water. We go have a shower. How long do we shower for? Not a lot of people, have that. And so right now in this moment, a shift in your perspective will show you just how abundant you are. You can use your mind to show you how poor you are, or you can use your mind to show you how abundant you are. But remember, the use of the mind is creating the energy, the vibration that you're in, which then attracts. And then remember, spirit is flowing to and through us. So when we feel something, we're asking for it. So if you feel lack and limitation, you're asking for it. Yeah. So right now, focus on all the abundance you do have, how easy everything is, how amazing it is, how grateful you are. Use your mind for good to paint a picture and a story that convinces you that it's all working out for you. I was chatting with my next level mastermind yesterday, and I was actually telling them that I will use my mind to tell myself a story that everything is happening for me and it's working out. Oh, there's another sign, there's another sign, there's another sign, there's another sign. And like, it's not like they're real signs. I'm deciding they are. So I'm convincing myself it's all coming together. I'm convincing myself I'm moving forward. Some might say it's delusional. Sure. I'm convincing myself I'm powerful. I'm convincing myself I'm successful. I'm convincing myself that I am confident, that I am beautiful, that everything I want shows up for me. I'm convincing myself that everything I want I get, everything I write down comes into the physical form. Right? So you can use your mind to do that. I've decided that I'm going to live being delusional. And here's the thing with delusional, it's so interesting, right? Because delusional, they would tell you that delusional is like you believe in things that aren't real or reality, like delusions of grandeur. So a delusion of grandeur would be you believing that you are someone that you are not. So I remember when I worked in mental health, so I was a mental health nurse for a long time, and I actually ran the entire mental health strategy for an entire part of Ontario. And one thing that I would always find is like, there would be people who would be like, they'd have nowhere to live and they would have no money, and they would believe that life was going to work out for them. They would believe that things were going to happen. And we would say they're delusional. But if I am being positive, how can I be wrong? What is right and wrong? Okay, what is right and wrong? Who said? There are norms and there are values. There are cultural differences. Anywhere that you go in this world, different countries, different places, does not matter. Everybody believes different things. And so you're wrong because somebody says you're wrong, but like, are you really wrong? So for me, it's about elevating to a higher level version of myself that is loving, that is accepting, that is kind, that is compassionate,
that leaves everyone with an impression of increase, that has a loving perspective. And so I don't want to judge people anymore. Because if you aren't in judgment, then where are you? If you aren't in judgment, you're in love. You're in gratitude. Yeah. So you can decide what right and wrong is. And if you're truly coming from authentic desire to be a good person, then your heart will tell you what's right and wrong. Your heart will say, stealing this person's money today is not right. Like, I'm not saying that we're over here like changing our right and wrong beliefs and starting to believe that things like that are right. That's not what we're saying. But we're shaking up the program. We're loosening the model of the belief system. So what belief would serve you more? Is it 11 yet? I could keep talking forever about this. Yeah, it's 11. Okay. Shannon's ready to go. We're going to do some interviews, but then I'm going to talk about how the mind then controls the body. And somebody asked me, how do we move differently? I said you move differently based on what's programmed in your mind. I'm going to talk about that next. So stay on here. These interviews are really good. Okay, Shanny, take away. I got to unmute you. Hold on. Ask to unmute. It's not letting me. There you go.
I'm here. Well,
Shannon, can I just say, I just want to introduce Shannon because you want to talk about transformation, okay? I have had a major transformation over the past 3.5 years, but this one right here has had an incredible transformation. She sat on the fence watching me for 2 years. And she kept coming into my inbox. I'm like, what are you doing over there, Kathleen? Like, what are you studying? What are you learning? 2 years. And now she's here completely changing her entire life and her family's life, and now going to be interviewing people on this live about their stories. Like, anyways, I just want to say I'm so proud of you.
Oh, I love it. And you know what? It was 2.5. You guys don't make my mistake.
2.5? Wow. Okay.
And then every time she'd be like, why are you resisting? I'm like, who's this girl telling me I'm resisting? Now I understand. I was resisting.
Now you've come over to the light side.
I have, and I love it. I love it. I love it. I get to help so many. And like after that confidence talk, I'm like, shoulders up, my lippies on, I'm ready to go.
Yeah, beautiful. Okay, take it away.
We have Cece. Where is my girl Cece? Oh, hello, Cece. Oh my goodness.
Hello.
I'm so pumped to interview Cece because you guys, I actually had the first call with Cece, and you were me with Kathleen. There was some resistance. So I just want you to just tell everyone where you're from. I don't want to share your story, but where you're from and where you were before this program.
Okay, hi, I'm thrilled to be here. I'm so honored and thank you so much. I'm from Mexico. I live in Hermosillo, Mexico, and I don't know anyone in the community who really actually lives in Mexico. So hello. Where I was when you and I talked for the first time, I was stuck because now I understand I was disconnected. I mean, I was growing. I'm a life coach. Before that, I have obviously my corporative story. For 17 years, I was in the industry of manufacturing and, selling to the US, exporting and doing what we're supposed to do, right, in our work. And I was loving it. I was not unhappy, I was loving it. But some things happened in my personal life, breakdown. And after a breakdown came the breakthrough. So I changed my career. I changed my whole life. I felt the call to teach people how to be happy because I wasn't unhappy, but I was not happy. And I had everything, but I wasn't aware of everything. So that was my story back in 2011, right? So I changed everything. I let go of my career and full of doubts and fears, I moved forward. Obviously, I always have had some kind of help or a mentor. So I know how is this process and how rich and helpful is to have someone to guide you and show you the blind spots, right? So and when I decided to change my life, when I felt the call, I opened my own practice. I started to helping people, teaching them how to be happy, how to be aware of themselves through spiritual connection. So many quantum leaps in my life since then, but back in March, where the first time that you and I talked, I was, having success and doing everything. And I got disconnected on my own spirit because I was so focused on getting my goals achieved. So I felt that new level. And that's when I came across Kathleen, because it was a new level of knowing myself and loving myself. And here we are now.
Yeah, because when we chatted, we were talking a lot about like the masculine and feminine energy. And like, Kathleen says it's not male or female, but Cece, you were really in the masculine and you were like, shit, do. I was like, that was me too. And
yes.
That's one thing we talked about. You're like, I just don't know how, right? And I love that. You flip that switch, right? Like, oh my goodness, you guys, wait till you hear everything she's brought in. So like what have you found since you've been here in Kathleen's energy in this community? Like, tell us your wins.
Yes. The thing is that I knew about the feminine and masculine energy, but it's when you get caught up in this doing, you forget. And there I was. I got disconnected because I was getting into the doing and trying to achieve. And just this morning with my mastermind group that I met in this community, they came to me once again to be aware that now that I'm growing again in a different level, not forget that I'm here to serve, not forget that it's not about me, it's about my spirit. And my wins have been amazing. Once I got connected, because the first thing that you told me to do that I stopped doing it before was meditation. And then that helped me to reconnect with myself and get clear on my heart desires. And you have to take action to quantum leap, right? And it was very uncomfortable. I was against the fence in that moment, and I had no option but go all in. I got into the program and seeing in a different light, all the mechanics, because it's a mechanic. You have to do things, right? You have to do it, but in a different light, which is the feminine energy, getting connected first with myself and then putting the action is less effort. It's easier. It's more enjoyable. It's more, it's like, is it really happening? I mean, now I got this, now I got that. And the win says, in the mechanics, I was doing everything right, but getting not the result because I wasn't open to receive, because I was disconnected with my spirit. Once I got connected to my spirit, everything that was in hold started to show up. So from 1 month to another, in terms of money, if we speak in that terms, in terms of money, I doubled to the next month. And then in one class, Kathleen says, you have to make it a habit. You have to hold that results in order to take the next level, right? So I was, okay, my first month, my second month, my third month, okay, time to quantum leap again. So it's a process. It's a very nice process. It's definitely is being in the right environment, and definitely is getting the right knowledge and putting into the action.
But I want to really pull this out, you guys, because yes, the money, and she's done some amazing things and called amazing things in. But I want people to understand is the fact that when she came, she was she knew about the feminine energy, but she wasn't practicing it. So she was pushing and pushing. So if you're on here and you resonate with that, like that pushing, because I resonated with that. Like it was like a push. It's like, why can't it show up? It's like, I'm doing all the things. And then so I've had a couple of conversations with Cece. I'm like, Cece, have you been meditating? She's like, no, Shannon, right? So we know now from these tools and the stuff that we've learned here is how to nurture these desires and these beliefs that we have to go for it. And that's what Cece's done. She's embodied this work. She's embodied what we're doing here, right? And like, you guys, like, tell them about the contract that you just signed with this company. Like, this is incredible. Like, I got goosebumps up and down. Like, you have to tell them. Like,
it is amazing, because in this process of my life, when I received my call, then it's funny because you receive a call, like for me it was teaching people to be happy, and then we are evolving, we are expanding. And then 3 years ago, I received the call to be global, to make an impact globally. So I started to play with that idea, but I didn't know how. So then I started a new level of mentorship, right? And then last year, for instance, I was working on that, making proposals, trying to, get into that niche of market. And obviously I needed to grow because I wasn't feeling worthy of having conversation with this kind of business owners or people in that level, right? So it was a self-image work as well. It was, put into the action, there to do the things, but it was like on hold, because once again, I got disconnected in the mechanics. So once I got connected, everything started to show up. But feeling more light and confident. And right now, my saying was, I want my goal is I want to work with high influential people all over the world, because that way, if I impact one person, that person will impact globally, right? So my outlook is to work with people in higher positions. So I'm climbing that ladder. I'm not there yet, but I'm climbing that ladder, and I'm working, for instance, with people who are in charge of human resources departments. One manufacturing plant has 2,500 people. So that's how many people you are going to impact working with one person. And then I realized that person has also that desire to impact more people and to help more people. So we start to make this ripple effect, and you get higher and higher and higher. So I'm closing deals now with companies that have 15,000 people in their environment, and we are just starting. But the main thing is here, the why I'm doing this, not to forget that, because then is when I got disconnected.
I love that. You answered my next question, where are you going? But you're doing this, like, she just manifested a beautiful home for her family, yes, in an area that she wants. Like, Cece, I don't think you're giving enough credit, but like when you guys hear that, like the ripple effect, because she looked at herself and she said she was worthy. I love this, Cece. I'm so happy that I know when I come to Mexico, we're seeing each other. I know it. Can't wait to give you a hug. So if we can leave people here with an impression of increase, what would you say? Like, what would you say, like, before you came into this community, and now, like, you're almost out, like, you're not almost out, but you know what I mean? Like, you're through the program, you showed up, you did the work. So what would you say to Cece before this program?
Okay, hold on to your dream, and don't make it small, and don't settle for less. I think that is a new mindset that I'm practicing every day, not settle. Because one thing that I have, just what Kathleen said just a few minutes ago, when she said prosperity is showing up outside, right? So I wanted prosperity, but I wasn't showing it outside. So then is when I decided to move from the place I was to the place I am in. And then is the energy and the environment is different. So that moves you to grow. That is like a motor that it makes you grow. And there's a non-stopping growing. So there's a non-stopping prosperity. There's no limits, right? So hold on to your dream and make it bigger every time. Right now, for instance, a week ago, and you made me that question as well. What's next? When I was sharing with you, and I was reflecting and sitting with myself, connecting with myself, and what's next? And for a minute, I get blank. I was like, okay, because right now I'm living everything that I wanted. The things that I wanted, the house, the car, the relationship with my husband, my kid, I love so much my clients. I love so much what I do. I'm having the freedom of time and money is coming and I'm serving and I'm helping and I'm very thrilled I'm ecstatic with my life right now, but there's a next level. So I discovered my next level last week and I said, okay, you're not done. You still have some growth to do inside of you in more awareness about who you are and expressing and exposing. And that has been a break that I discovered that it's something that is going to be clear now. But what I will say to other people as well is take off the brakes, and get guided. Get guided. Someone has to help you to see what you don't are able to see because you are seeing from your own experience. So we need people from outside to help us to see even our greatness. Sometimes we don't see our greatness. We need people to show us how great we are in order to us having that courage to express it. So be guided. Go with the right person, with the right people in a lovely environment. I love so much my study group, and I love so much my mastermind group because we really share from the heart in that spirit of everybody growing. So and helping each other to see who we really are. So this is amazing. I mean, that is what I was looking for and show up through you, through the academy, through Kathleen, through everybody here.
That's so awesome. Thank you, Cece. And it's so true. Like it's so easy to see like blinders from like pointing out, but in yourself, right? But you've done the work. You are doing the work, and you guys see the ripple effect she's going to have on so many in corporate world too, where they are not understanding this stuff, right? So, Cece, I can't wait to watch your journey.
And I was holding myself back. Remember when I told you I'm a soul healer, because I knew that from many years ago, but I wasn't exposing or sharing that because, you're crazy, it's not going to be accepted. No one is going to believe you. But now that that you see that is the core of you, right? Your emotions, your feelings. I mean, once we heal that, and I'm so thankful to be that channel, once we heal that, everything starts to prosper and to evolve. So no shame on that anymore.
Oh, I love it. I love it. And I know
embracing it.
You on the TV. You're already doing interviews and everything. Watch out. This girl is going places. I love it.
And I'm so great, so thankful for this because it's my first interview in English. So I hope I'm doing it.
You did an amazing job. Oh, good. Now you can take that off.
And I saw I go global. I need to start getting used to this.
Yes, you do, girl. Oh, I love it. Thank you, Cece, so much for being here with us. Oh, I love you, girl.
Thank you so much.
Okay, and our next interview today is lovely Mandy. There she is. Hello, Mandy.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Hey, how many outfit changes did you have before this one?
Listen, I'm growing here. It was a quick one. Yeah.
I have the pleasure to meet Mandy back in March, I believe it was. Was it March? The girl had like, I was like, every time she walked by, is that a new person? Nope. She had 4 different outfits on in the span of an hour. I loved it. I was like, I want to see your tickle trunk.
I know. I definitely have quite a collection. I love fashion. It makes me feel good.
Yeah, that's good. We do things to make us feel good. Yes. So Mandy, I would love for you to share just this tapes. Share with us where you were, share with us a little bit about you, so people can know where you were.
Yeah. Okay. I joined this at the end of January. I was a pretty broken girl. I had been going through a separation. I've been married for 22 years. I am a spa owner and entrepreneur. I had been opened it 12 years ago. I have 2 beautiful children, and now Kathleen has taught us how to describe herself. So I'm one determined girl because I have put in the work, and I can confidently say this, that I'm freaking proud of myself. But if it wasn't for this team and Kathleen, I was Bob Proctor. He's my man. Everybody that knows me, Bob changed my life in 2019. I was introduced to TIR, and I went through it with a really amazing man, but it was very, very masculine. But it really helped me with my business during COVID. And my husband left me the first time there, but then somehow kind of came back in and then left me again. And I was just crushed. But through the personal growth, we know that it's a choice. And but I kind of had gotten out of it. And then at Christmas of 2022, I was taking the kids to Florida and was going to drive to Florida with my best friend. And my family would always say, put Bob on, right? And so I went to put on YouTube and I saw Kathleen. And I was driving to Florida, and it's quite a long trip. I'm from Tillsonburg, Ontario, Canada. And I said to my best friend, I can do all the driving. Like, I don't know who I'm listening to, but she is pumping me up. I drove for 16 hours straight. I was like, this woman, like, honestly, she's like, this is. And then on vacation, it was hard to be alone, like not to have like so many changes in my life and being strong for the kids. So I came back and did an event, and then Success Advisor Tanya just showed me such love. And it was a complete stranger, but it didn't feel like a stranger. I'm like, she really cares about me. And I was very scared. And of course the investment, and I was just like, no, I'm doing this. I need this right now. I was feeling so, I was suppressing a lot and putting on a show and afraid of what others thought of me. Even at the spa, it's a small town. And my husband and I are very, very successful in other businesses as well. So just kind of, and I was just always just felt like a failure with the separation and the divorce. And then like Kathleen is just, this program switched the way that I thought. And that's all it is. I thought, and I was doing the blame game, as Bob would say, it's a dumb game. And I was blaming everything. And same with Kathleen, when I met her a couple times now at a few events, I was telling myself a pretty hard story, and I was being pretty victim-y. And she just taught me that I can transition out of this marriage into a new relationship. And it's been amazing shift for me. And I always think, God, him on the other side of this, but it's me. I changed. I did it. I have fallen in love with myself. And from having the program has taught me to have more fun. I've never had so much fun in my life. My physical health, like that being that best version of myself has been huge. And I've wrote journals and journals and journals, and asking. And at the very, very kind of funny story, at the very beginning when I joined, I wanted to be home more. I was working so much, and everything into the family, and I'm on my own here, and I was just really telling quite the story. But I asked God to be home more, and I want to study more. And the next day I was coming home, and I had done a class and I was romanticizing my life, and I did a visualization of having all this energy, and I decided to take down my Christmas tree finally. And I fell and broke my arm and I broke my foot. And so there was no way that I could go into work, and it was a low moment, but you have to just remember those setbacks are truly set ups. When we're sick, when we're anything, I know, like you guys have taught me, like I'm sick, I'm like, oh, something big is so coming, so coming. And it's so light on the body when you think that way. And Kathleen has taught me, just be that best ex-wife that you can be. And I like that. Anybody knows me, I come from positivity. That is just softer for me. I'm a lover, and it's just been beautiful to see that. And yeah.
I was laughing when you said about the taking down your tree. I wasn't laughing that you broke your arm. I just remember
what that did was force me clarity. Okay, Mandy, where do you need to change? What needs to change? I need help. And I learned to, millionaires, they have a lot of help. They don't do it themselves. And Kathleen teaches that in one of the very first chapters, I believe. And I was like, I called up my best friend and one of them, and I have many, and I said, what will it take to come work for me? And so she came, and I invested a lot that I was like, oh, and oh my gosh, the more that I loved me, the more the money came. And I was home, and I'm studying, and I'm on fire. And you guys too held the belief for me in so many aspects in me, and my confidence level, and getting this out of me, the pain. Like we talked the other day, the poison, just get it out, Oh, burn and release. Like there's so many great aspects. It's 7 days a week here. This community is next level, and the friendships that I've made. And it's just for me to learn to ask for help. Like I've had some record-breaking months, and I haven't, put in half the effort that I used to put in. And I wasn't even also paying myself, which is kind of crazy. But Kathleen has taught us that the more that we invest in us, then God, universe, whatever we call it, is going to bring it back. And so when you say, when I purchased invested in the company or invested in me, like it's scary. You get better at it. But I was like, oh man, that bank account's getting low. And then all of a sudden, like 3 days later, I look at it and it's like skyrocketed again. And I'm like, right, Kathleen, and I tell her this shit works. And she says it all the time. She gets it all the time. But I mean, and then that little scary moments, they get better, and the contrasts are it is clarity. And then once you really just constantly, Tanya, my success advisor, is always reminding me to, what would you love? And as soon as I go there, I'm going to create a jewelry line, because I believe in awareness, and I'm not one to tattoo yet, but maybe that's coming in my future. But I have a bracelet coming that says, what would you love? Just to constantly switch that thinking, go to that 4D. The tools are here, and they will teach you all of this. And repetition is key, and you got to show up. And I've showed up, and I'm not going anywhere.
You have, with your pink cast, I love it. You're always with your pen. You're always writing.
Well, I call it my magic wand, because honestly, I wrote this down. I have it in journals, and gratitude. Like this pen, when you just write out the gratitude, it's beautiful. And sending love to those that, has been super powerful, and coming from love is where it's at, and loving you is the number one thing. And I'm proof. And I love seeing the new students come on. I see myself in them. The money beliefs, I do believe, I want to write a book called The Money is the Mirror of Me, because I wasn't paying myself. I was worrying at work. I was worrying at home. And then I just done the work. And when you are writing out those affirmations, doing the bless and release, you wake up in the middle of the night. I used to have terrible thoughts. And like the other night I woke up and my voice said like that I was a rock star. And I was like, whoa, that's pretty cool.
Can't wait to see that outfit.
Yeah. And I just I live for this, and study you every day. It is a university of you here. the money comes because you start doing what you love, and it's all on its way.
Oh, I love that. So what's next for you, Mandy? What's next for you?
Well, I have a lot of big changes coming, which is great. My daughter is heading to Switzerland for school. My son's in college. I'm here, but I'm finally at peace. If you would have said that to me 6 months ago, I'd be a bawling baby, but they're going after the dreams. The kids are listening to us. Your employees are listening to us, your friends. And like when you get down, your friends pick you back up because this is all we talk. We are language police officers, I call it. We are. And it's so nice when you have your best friend or, your daughter or your son, pumping you up. It's beautiful. And I now make decisions from those, Mandy and her 4D. And we can change a thought in an instant. And Kathleen taught us that. And she's a powerhouse, man. So grateful for her. And what is next for me? I have a lot on my 50s list. I want a yacht. I want to study from my yacht. I named it the other day because of Sarah. It's called Why Not? Why Not? Why Not? Yeah. Yes. And then the man on the yacht, of course, that's coming too.
And he's fun.
Yeah. But I want to stay in the community. I'm going to continue on. I'm excited for some live events and stuff like that. And I'm not going anywhere. And I just want to say thank you to everybody here. And those that are thinking of joining, oh my goodness, it's just, and that's one thing. If I could do anything with my jewelry line that I want to come out with, or my book or whatever, I want it to go to funding mental health in this, especially for women that are going through, this is a grievement process. And, I got a lot more love from breaking my arm and my foot than I did having a broken heart. And I want to change that. And Jen Underwood taught us that, honor the love more than the loss. And that's where I go to when I get angry. I go to what do I love about them. Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's beautiful. I know Kathleen's sitting there like a proud mama. Look at, she's coming on.
Yeah. I'm like, it's so beautiful when I get to hear these stories in these ways. Like it does become a normal part of my life for people to be messaging me and saying that they're having shifts and they're growing and expanding. But I want to say that it is what keeps me and this entire organization going, is to hear people come on. And I can't believe it's been 6 months, but Mandy, the woman that was messaging me 6 months ago and the woman that you are showing up as today right now are two completely different women. Like, you are so empowered and you're inspiring people by sharing this. And that's why I said, Mandy, are you ready to step up to your next level and come and talk on the thing? And she's like, yep, I'm ready. And that's the action piece. And she's being humble about her business and the success that she's had. She is a powerhouse, and we're honored to have you here with us. And yes, stay, and I'll probably see you at our Toronto event, but then I'll see you again in Mexico. Mandy's coming to the retreat. So we're just so honored that you chose our community to have your elevation and to stay and to serve our community like you have been. So we appreciate you and we love you so much. Oh, my heart. This is a very emotional place to be in. What I do, I don't think I've cried as much as I've cried in the past 3.5 years, and like happy tears, not tears of sadness or not feeling worthy or whatever, like happy tears. And that's the awakening and the enlightenment and the journey that we are on. And so we're so grateful for everybody sharing. It becomes this fun little thing now where people are like, they'll enroll, they'll join our community, and they're like, and I'm going to share my story on your live, Kathleen. And I'm like, okay, let's go, and it becomes a part of their journey and their story. So who wants to be on here in 6 months sharing their story like that? That's why we show these examples, because we want you to see what's possible and what's available. And social proof is the way that that's going to happen. We're not trying to convince you of anything. We're trying to show you that sort of transformation is within you as well. It's all within you. So the last thing that I want to talk about before we got about 20 minutes here. So
I really want to talk about the body piece, the action piece, because it has been something that moving my body has been something that I have done with sheer willpower and motivation for much of my life. So I knew how to work hard. Okay, so I'm not going to say that I was like this lazy woman that never did anything all of my life. Like, I have been a very driven and motivated woman, and I have taken action towards the growth in my life. So I have gotten 3 degrees. I have received probably 4 different promotions in my nursing career. I went after what I wanted, but I did it in mechanical action. I did it by working hard. Mandy said something that she said she had record-breaking months and she worked less. That is what I'm talking about here. Okay? How can you achieve more but do less? And any feeling within you is like, well, should we do less? Like, that's kind of lazy. Like, oh, you guys want to work less. I used to feel that way. I remember when I said to somebody one time, you know what? I only want to work 4 hours a day. I don't want to work an 8-hour day. I want to work 4 hours a day. And I could see them. They were like, really? Like, are you lazy? No. You know what? I want a good life. I want a good life. I want an experience where what I do for a living, I love, so it doesn't feel like work at all, but that I spend time going to the spa and meditating and walking and working out and spending time with my kids and traveling the world and all those things. And so there's an experience of you where you can achieve more and work less, and to get out of the rat race and the hustle and grind race. But taking action is always going to be something we need to do. So we're spiritual beings with an intellectual mind in a physical body, and that physical body moves according to our mind. And so if your mind says that you have to work hard, your physical body will work hard and it will move in that way. But if you're connected to spirit and you are self-aware and you reprogram your belief system, your mind is going to tell your body to move, but it's going to tell it to move in an inspired way. What is inspired? In spirit. Okay, so consider this. I was a woman that worked really hard. So I remember when I was in network marketing. So when I was still a nurse, and I was actually a director, so I was an executive level leader in healthcare, and I decided to start in network marketing because I wanted to work for myself. And so I started selling products online, and I started growing a team and those things. And so I would reach out to 10 people a day. And I would reach out to those 10 people and I would send them a similar message. And I was sending that message from who I believed I was in that moment. So I didn't really think that I was all that successful. I really didn't think that I was that powerful. I didn't think that I was that good of a leader, maybe okay leader, but I didn't really love myself. And so the energy in which I reached out to those 10 people in was not inspired. It was low vibration, I would say, probably from a lower frequency of vibration. I wanted more, but I didn't think I was worthy of it or good enough for it or that I could do it. So I reached out to those 10 people every single day because I'm disciplined. I do it. I take action. But I would get one person a day to come back and be like, yeah, I'm interested in hearing more. Then I started studying me. I started shifting the image that I held of myself. I changed the concept that I have of myself in my mind. So I started to see myself as successful, empowered, confident, beautiful in the body that I am in now. I started to see my connection and my oneness to God. So I was in spirit, I was inspired. And so I took action from that place, which is a higher frequency of vibration. So same 10 messages went out every single day, didn't use different words or different language, but I was different. And I started getting 7, 8 people a day saying, yes, they want to know more. So the difference wasn't in what I did, but who I was when I did it. Who I believed I was when I did it. And then it got to the point where I started just having people reach out to me from nowhere. I wouldn't even message them to say, what are you doing? I want in. Why did that happen? Because the forces of attraction, my toroidal field, my energy, my vibration started to go further out and out and out, stronger, and more people started to be drawn to me without me even really doing anything else. So I didn't work more hours. I didn't send more messages. I didn't hustle harder. I didn't force it. I changed me. So this is where the mind impacts the body, where the spirit, the spiritual realm impacts the body. So this is what Cece said. She was unaware of her connection and becoming aware of her connection to spirit. She's different. And so what she gets back is different. This is the wholeness of manifestation. So see how you can't just be in the spiritual alone. You can, and you can feel good, and you can be in the present moment, and you can love it. But in order for you to bring a greater experience of life into your world, better relationships, more love, a healthier version of yourself, more money, business growth, it requires you to elevate your thinking, your feeling, and your behavior. And so imagine this, that little exercise that I had you do with confidence, where I just had you sit up more confidently. You moved differently in this 3D physical world based on a different assumption. So instead of assuming that you're not confident, you assumed that you are, and you sat up straight. So now imagine you create this idea of yourself, somebody who is so powerful, so impactful. One conversation with you changes people's lives. You inspire people just by being yourself. You walk into a room and you light that room up. Are you going to move differently in this world? Oh yeah. You are going to show up at events and you are going to feel like you belong there. So what is this thing people talk about? Imposter syndrome. All we're talking about is your own beliefs about yourself. You don't believe you belong there, so you believe you're an imposter. You're making a decision to be an imposter. Stop it. It's about making a decision that you belong there. You run that table, you run that room. That is a completely different way of acting in this world, of walking within this world. So I walk differently in everyday life here than I used to. Absolutely. And that's the important thing. Wallace D. Wattles says, Science of Getting Rich, that your thoughts are the magnetic power that bring everything to you, but your action is what makes you open to receive. So action means you're moving towards what you desire. So I teach in Millionaire, and I'm not going to go too deep into this because it's deeper, but I teach people to climb the ladder of belief. So as you climb the ladder of belief, you go from needing something to wanting something to believing it's possible to knowing that it is done. And when you know something is done, you move very different. You move with this just knowing, world, I am here and I am showing up. But hesitation, is there any hesitation in the knowing? No. So if you have any hesitation around the way you're moving in this world, it's all within you. So pay attention to your action and pivot your action. One of the things that's really beautiful and really, really powerful is the act of decision making. So the act of decision making will tell you so much about you. So decision making is the action piece. Now, if you've made a decision but you never act on the decision, you didn't make a decision. So I mean truly making a decision. So if you make a decision on your own and you let that decision to be inspired and you let that decision be easy and you go in it confidently, it's because you have a knowing. And so the way in which you make decisions tells you so much about where you're at. So for me before, I would not make my own decisions. I needed somebody else to say yes or no. So I would notice that I would go to somebody and say, do you think I should do this? And whatever they would say would influence me. And I remember this so much from my network marketing days. I would talk to somebody about the business opportunity and they would be so excited. They were like, yeah, I'm ready to step into this. I'm ready to start my own business. Let's go. I'm going to be a female entrepreneur. I'm going to be a mompreneur. Let's go do this. And the decision that they were making in that moment was based on their ability to dream. that was based on their desire for more within themselves. And so in that moment, they were choosing to step into an elevated version, to take that risk, to take that chance, to go all in, to go after it, to do it. And then they would get off the phone with me, and then they would go talk to their husband or their mom or their best friend. And those people would be like, are you nuts? You can't do that. You're not good enough for that. That feels like a lot of work. Are you sure you're going to do that? It sounds like a waste of money. It sounds like a scam. And so what they were doing was they were taking their belief system, putting it onto her, and saying no. And then they would fall for it. So I would have people come back to me and be like, you know what? My friends think it's a bad idea. Oh, my husband isn't going to let me, blah, blah, blah. And so what ends up happening is something that could have been a quantum leap in their lives and change their entire experience of life, they said no to because they listened to what other people thought. And those other people don't have the dreams like you. Do you think I'm going to go ask somebody what they think I should do that is interested in making $100,000 a year? No. I'm going to go find people that want to make billions. And I'm going to ask them what I should do. But for the most part, it's truly believing in your own decision making. It's being guided by a pull within you to do something that you know you want to do. And I always say, you know, Mandy said, what would you love? This is what we say all the time. What would you love? What would you love? And if the answer is, I would love to start this business. I would love to take this course. I would love to go on that trip. That's the real you asking for what you would love. Everything else that says, no, you shouldn't, it's too much money, you won't finish it, you're not good enough, this is a huge risk, you could fail, all of that comes next, that's all the programming within the mind. And so what happens is if you choose to decide to go with the fear, then you're choosing to stay where you are. And when you choose to elevate and you choose to make the decision, you're choosing to become a new level version of yourself. And the fear, what it actually is, if we truly understand it, the fear is actually just the difference between operating on a new frequency of vibration and the old one wanting to keep you here. Because what's comfortable is what you're used to. So even if you don't want that level of success anymore, it's comfortable because you're used to it. So it is easy. It is easy to stay right where you are. I choose to elevate. I have choices. Beatrice, yes. This is the thing, is we all have choice and we all have infinite possibilities. Let me tell you, okay? I have no magical powers. I have no special skills. I haven't been given some sort of like magic thing that I have over anyone else. I decided that I was going to become the best of myself, to elevate and to expand and to grow and to learn how to do this. And when I tell you that anything is possible, I mean anything is possible. Anything is possible. There is nothing you cannot do. And any belief within yourself that there is something that you cannot do, let's change it. Let's turn it around. I always say expect the unexpected. But what I'm really saying there is let's start to expect what most people don't expect. You know, be realistic and expect a miracle. So in my reality, miracles happen all the time. In my reality, in my life that I choose to see now, that I choose to observe, I see people expanding, elevating, quantum leaping, changing the course of their life. So we have this thing now when people message us and they're like, oh my gosh, guess what? You know, so-and-so, this just happened, or I just manifested this or whatever. I go, of course. I knew you would. I'm not surprised. That's the energy, that's the feeling. And so can you see then, decision-making will tell you a lot about yourself. Can you go for dinner and order what you want without knowing what anybody else wants? Can you go to dinner and order what you want without looking at the price? Can you make a decision without discussing it with anyone? Can you make a decision without going into your intellectual mind? So the intellectual mind will weigh the pros and the cons, all the things that could go right and all the things that could go wrong. But for me, I create an idea in my mind of all the things that could go right, and then I act on the assumption that all of those things have gone right, and I make that decision. because the decision that I make is the outcome. So if I decide I'm quantum leaping, then that's the outcome. I would not believe otherwise. There is no other option than that. My husband is pushing past his fear as we speak, as he decides to do something he wants to do, but his old programming of what could go wrong is coming forward. Beautiful. And see how, Judy, like self-awareness is the key to this, because then you sit back and you go, oh, I see what's happening here. I want to do something and I'm afraid to do it. And my past version of me is saying, stay here, be comfortable, be safe. And so when you choose to do it, you're like, okay, I'm going to do it because I know it's going to take me to that place and because I really want to. And you know what? I'm unafraid. I'm unafraid. I'm going to do it. But there is also this thing that is so incredibly important, and that is a desire. If you don't have a desire for something other than what you have right now, you are not going to face your fear. And so I'm in the assumption that every single one of you on here has a desire, or you wouldn't be here. There is something within you that wants more than what you have today. Whether or not you think you can do it or not doesn't matter. All that matters is that you have a desire for more. And if that desire is big enough, it will help you to face your fears, to be brave and look in the mirror, to become one with God, and to make a new decision for yourself. My hashtag that I used for years was hashtag doing it for my girls. I have 2 daughters. They're 9 and 11. And that hashtag was so powerful for me because it reminded me that it's not just about me. It reminded me of the impact. And at that time, the impact that I saw was my girls. I saw how I could impact them and how they could go out into this world and they could impact others. I stopped using that hashtag because I'm not doing it just for them. I understand that they are being impacted and it's important, but I'm actually doing this for every single person that comes in contact with me that has a desire for more. And that means that I had to look at myself in a different way. So Kathleen, that was doing it for her girls, didn't believe she could impact many people. Didn't believe her reach was very far. Didn't think that she could change the world. And now I do believe that I can change this world. And I'm willing to be brave, and I'm willing to be bold, and I'm willing to show up, and I'm willing to be seen, and I'm willing to become a version of myself that believes that. Right? Nicole, I'll answer this question tomorrow. I would love to join Millionaire. My issue is I don't trust myself to do the work. So somewhere along the line, somebody told you that you don't do the work, that you don't finish things. And the only way to change that is to do the work and to finish it. And don't believe that. Kathleen, I love when you said, oh, that wasn't me. Where did that go? Kathleen, I love when you said, don't have faith in God, have the faith of God. We were created in God's image, therefore we have the power to create. Yeah, so I think a lot of us, we believe in God, and so then it's like it's something separate from us. But if we have the faith of God, that means that we take on the faith that our Creator has, that our source has. And so do you think God is questioning whether creation will happen? Do you think that this energy and this life force is like, oh, I'm not so sure. I don't know if this is going to work. No, it just creates. It just makes. And so that's a level of faith that is far, far different than how a lot of us are working today. Success in its simplest terms is faith expressed in action. So that's why decision-making is such a powerful indicator. That's Robert Russell from God Works Through Faith. Faith expressed in action. What would you do if you had faith? You can make a decision with no faith, or you can make a decision in full faith. It's up to you. So we have had a few people already enroll in our programs. We haven't even opened enrollment yet. We haven't even talked about, we have a summer promotion on, like none of that has publicly been discussed, but there are people that are taking action in faith and are like, no, I'm ready. I know, I don't need to wait. That's an energy. That's a feeling. That's a way of showing up. That's an action. So we also had, I'm just going to read these names off because I think it's important that we celebrate. So Maura is staying in our community. She completed Millionaire and she's staying. Oh, that makes me so happy. Veronica has signed up for Millionaire. Katrin is staying in our community. Joy is staying in our community. Tanya has joined Millionaire. Susan is coming to Rise, coming to Mexico. Susan, I'm so excited. Justina joined Millionaire. Nicole is coming to Rise in Mexico. Tori is taking Millionaire. Nanette is taking Millionaire. Okay, I was saying a couple people, but we have a lot of you that are making decisions. And this is really beautiful, really powerful. So tomorrow I'll talk about it. Okay, so tomorrow I'll talk about the summer promotion. We'll talk about Mexico. We will talk about a Toronto potential event. Okay, so tomorrow we'll go over all of that stuff. I'll also talk about the Millionaire program and the Modern Mentor program, the differences, but we're also going to do a Q&A and we're going to do a guided visualization. So that is one of my favorites. And then I do have, don't forget that we did the giveaway. If you introduce yourself in the Facebook group, Manifested with Kathleen Cameron, you're entered into a giveaway for something that I'm going to send you. And it's really fun. So you can still introduce yourself. It can be a live, it can be a picture, does not matter. But you can absolutely just go into the Manifested with Kathleen Cameron Facebook group and do a little intro, and then you'll be entered. So we will do that giveaway tomorrow as well. And I always have a fun special gift that I give everybody that enrolls for our programs on the day we open enrollment. So that's tomorrow. So come on live. But do the homework, please, tonight. So if you've resisted doing the homework, look yourself in the mirror, do the homework, please. So lesson 3 and lesson 4 are the 2 additional homework parts for tonight. Sit down a couple of different times, or enroll today. Yeah, anybody that's enrolled this week will get whatever the gift is tomorrow. You're an action taker. You'll get whatever is tomorrow, so don't worry. Homework, please. Tag me in social media if you would like to tag me. We are going to end the day today with a song, and Mandy used this song on her story yesterday. And it reminded me of the last time I played this song. For those of you that are watching the replay, we cannot play the songs on the replay because of copyright issues. So you can go and look it up. I'm going to play Reaper by Sia. Okay, so it's a little more lively. But the reason that this song is really, really powerful for me is because it is a beautiful song to remind me that today is not the day you're going to take me. Today is the day I'm going to empower myself, and I'm going to rise above. I'm going to remind myself of my strength and of my power, and I'm going to step into the version of myself that I know has